Hello again. Hopefully you did good, better than good on exercise 26. You should be feeling all right about being able to solve things. If you found that it was frustrating, then try cycling back on a few of the exercises, maybe keeping track of which ones you don't know or maybe couldn't figure out, and then make sure you understand and memorize a few more of the terms before you continue on. While you do that, while you review, you can also do exercise 27. So exercise 27 here is more memorization. Now I know for some people memorization is super difficult. The thing about it though is it's one of these skills that if you just try to do, eventually you get a little better at it. It seems to cause some folks discomfort, but the key to memorization is to do tiny bits of it every day. Not spend an hour in marathon memorization sessions, but to do 15-minute spurts and little bits as you go through the day. So, I explained a bit of that at the beginning, but exercise 27 is another one of these exercises where you write down a series of flashcards, and then you give yourself little quizzes for about 15 minutes at a time. How you make a flashcard for this is simply put the left-hand side on one side of the flashcard, right-hand side on the other. Go through, sort them randomly. When one side comes up, try to say what the other side is. So let's say, for example, you have a card and it comes up not false. You should go true. Simple as that. Keep drilling it, keep drilling it. Make sure you learn all the terms up here. The key to this is through repetitive exposure to these terms, you'll memorize the response to them and what they are. Now, you won't necessarily know how to use them, but there's this odd thing about memorizing stuff like this. You don't quite understand what it's for, and you memorize it, so you know, well, when not false, that's true. And then when you go to see the explanation for it, it just somehow makes sense. It's a very weird thing, but one way to actually understand something is to memorize the base components of it and then go study it. And this actually really helps you. It sort of smooths the roadblocks and smooths over the bumps in the way to you understanding the concepts. Okay. One other trick I'm going to throw out there. And we sort of get into this in exercise 28. I'm going to do it a little more in depth in exercise 28 when we do some of the exercise there. But you can also use Python as sort of a drilling tool. So start up Python. Pick one of your flashcards, not false. Type not false. And then guess what it should be? That should be true. Hit enter, and Python will print out what it thinks that is. So one thing to do is after you've written your flashcards, go through all of them on the front side and see if you got it right. I say this because when I first wrote these, I sort of just kind of like went through them lamely, like I didn't really pay attention. And I actually got a lot of, like 3 of them wrong. It's common. This is just something that happens. These are things that you don't use every day in your life, so you get them wrong. People get stuff wrong. So then I forced myself to go through and do that on each one just to make sure they worked. Okay, that's exercise 27. Make sure you spend a good week doing this. So a good thing to do would be do a week of this, 15 minutes every day while you move ahead, or a week of this, 15 minutes, like 15 minutes in chunks for a couple hours every day, if you can. It doesn't have to be much, just like very little in like tiny little chunks. And then if you're not ready to move ahead, cycle back, go back, review some stuff, get solid while you're studying these. Okay, great. See you on exercise 28.